But there's always a place that you come back to that always feels like home, which is God's house. If I was a person who did not have God, I don't think I would be here. 20-something years I've been in this industry. I started as a child. I've been faced with so much. But one thing that has been constant is that God has always been there for me, uplifting me, showing up, and showing me that He's never leaving my side. And I've held on to that because that's all my parents taught me. That's all they introduced me to. My parents have never, I grew up when my parents were going through the hardest times of their lives. They used to have so much and then they didn't have that much. But the one thing that I saw my father do, even when my mother was sick to a point that hospitals would reject her because they didn't think there was anything they could do for her. My father so strong with his Christianity faith, God bless his soul. He always said anything God cannot do isn't meant to happen. He said if she cannot live, if she will not live because I have to do some rituals or whatever, then she was not meant to live. My father made that stance at the most sensitive time of his life, when everybody thought he would seek for help for my mother to live somewhere else. He stood his ground and he said, I'll never worship any other God except the God of heaven and earth. And if that God is alive, He'll keep my wife alive. Anybody that knows me knows that my mom had died and came back to life. My father's faith in God, which for me just made me understand the power of God. And I strongly believe that what God cannot do does not really exist. And I have such strong faith. And I am the last person. I may not be the most perfect person, but the one thing I would never do would be to dishonor that faith. Would be to dishonor that body. The only body that my parents made sure they didn't have much, but they instilled that in us. Trust in God, faith in God, hope in God. I've been in this industry 20 years plus. Every time I try to leave, I feel like I have fans I feel like I'm here for a purpose.